Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you from all over the United States and around the world here for our Crafternoon event. Well, today is a fun day because I'm going to show you a brand new product that is going to be in our store tomorrow. And I'm also going to show you a fun technique that you can do with it. Now, this product is not really brand new. This is something that we released at the last SCT event. It's our Daisies Forever Layering Stencil Bundle. And I know like 3,000 of you already have this because of the class of the event. But for those of you who've been asking me to release this in the store, we went through our inventory and we had a couple hundred left. So we decided to package them up and get them into the store for tomorrow. Now, I also wanted to remind you that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., this is all the details, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we will be releasing a coupon code on Facebook, in our group, on our page, on Instagram, and through our newsletter for a sale. And there's going to be, this is our second biggest sale of the year. So the only other sale that we do that's bigger than this one is Black Friday. And it's good for everything in the store except our clearance category, our deal of the day, and gift certificates. So everything, that means ink and cardstock, glue, tape, stamps, stencils, embossing folders, everything that you want is going to be on sale. So you write your own sale for those products. You decide exactly what you want to put in your cart. And other than what's on clearance or in the deal of the day category, it's all going to be on sale for you. You'll just need to use the code. Another thing I wanted to tell you about the sale is I know that a lot of people had placed orders for our last release. We decided for this sale to do a brand new incentive set. So there'll be a brand new incentive set that debuts tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. as well. So this way, you know, if you're thinking, oh, you know, I wish I could get something new for free, you will with any $75 purchase or more. And that is, let me clarify that after you apply the coupon, the order still has to equal $75. So it's a $75 or more. That's, you know, the net total. So you take off the coupon discount, you take off any sales tax, you take off any shipping. If you're overseas, if you're in the US, there won't be shipping because that's free shipping at $50. If that equals 75 or more, then you will get our brand new incentive stamp set. And it's beautiful. I'm so excited about how beautiful this is. I can't wait for you to see it. And we've been getting lots of inventory in this week. So our warehouse team has been counting and inventorying all of the new merchandise that's come in, not new, but restocked merchandise. And our assembly team has been assembling all of the packaging and the products. So we've got a lot of new stamp sets going in. All the embossing folders are back in, lots of stuff. So, you know, we really tried hard to have a sale when we actually have stuff you want. So it is great to see all of you and welcome everyone. We're so glad that you joined us here for a Thursday Crafternoon. Now, before we get to the project today, let's say hello to Tom. Oh, my hair's weird.
Happy scrappy afternoon.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
We're all still riding on your word of the day from Tuesday night.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yes. Somebody was asking, one of our girls at work was asking, when are the tape runners coming back in? And our inventory person said, they just arrived. And she said, hallelujah.
Yeah, man.
That's sticking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's kind of a scattered scrambled day
Yeah.
so far, don't you think?
Yes, it's crazy. It is crazy. But we're making it through. It's a lot of work to get ready for a sale, right?
Yeah, and you're locking up on Facebook a little bit here.
Oh, I am? Oh,
I don't know if
no.
other people are having problems, but we don't know what that is. It's
Yeah, we don't know why that's happening, but I don't know. I'm looking over here on YouTube, and it's not locking up at all over here on YouTube. So,
oh, that's what I meant on YouTube.
oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it seems back now. Maybe because I went out and came back in. I don't know. Try going out and coming back in because I just did that and it looks great. It's really super clear too on my phone. All right, everybody. So I did want to do one shout out to Linda Fellion's husband. Linda, if your husband is sitting there watching with you, I have to say that Linda Fellion's husband is sitting there watching a live, waiting to go and get propane until the live is over. He's waiting for Linda. So, Linda, tell your husband thank you for being so patient with us. We crafters just have to do our thing. All right. So if it freezes every once in a while, we're not sure yet. Weather conditions can definitely cause freezing. If it's raining where you are, that could be a problem. If the internet's crowded, that could be a problem. Right now, I'm watching on my phone. It's crystal clear, so I don't think the problem is on our end. If you keep having problems, you could go try Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you're having problems, come over to YouTube. All right, everybody. So let me show you what we're releasing tomorrow, this little item here. This is the Daisies Forever Layering Stencil Bundle. And I love this one. This is a 2-piece layering stencil set, but it's actually 3 steps for the flower. And I'll show you how to use it. And then it's got this cute little stamp set that goes with it. This is the Daisies Forever little mini stamp set. And then it's got a huge pack of dies. I want to show you all the dies that come in this. This was a very big die set. Huge die set. Lots of pieces. And it's also got this beautiful Forever and Shadow. It's very different than our other Forever and Shadow. I really like this. It's a little smaller. It's got 3 strip sentiment dies, which are great because they're tiny. Now, here is our other strip sentiment die set. So let me pull this out. So you can see these are thinner. They're a little thinner than our regular strip sentiments. And they are some different sizes. So you've got this tiny little one, which is perfect when you have just a single little word. Like in this case, the word friend. If you just wanted to cut that word out, it'll fit perfectly on there. And then I just wanted to show you that they're thinner than our regular sentiment strips. And then it's got all of these to cut out all the components of the stencil. So you can cut out all the different flowers and the leaves. It's got extra dies to cut out this piece here. Let's see, this flower, this circle, and then these cut out the stencil pieces. So there's a lot going on in here. And I thought we would make a fun card and I would show you. First, I'm going to show you how easy it is to line up these stencils. Because a lot of times when you have stencils like this, it's like, well, how do I turn them to get them right so that I can cut them out with the die? And I'm going to show you how easy it is. It is not that hard at all. So let me get a piece of white cardstock here. We'll start with that. And I think for this sample, I'm going to do like some different yellows. We'll make it a true daisy. And then for my card, I think I'm going to use some turquoise and green. So let me grab some colors. Here's honey mustard, sweet mango, and sweet corn. So we'll just make a kind of a traditional warm colored daisy. Okay, so you can do this anywhere on your card. You don't have to line it up in the corner of anything. Okay, and we're going to start with this one here. This is going to be our lightest layer. So I'm going to start with the sweet corn for the lightest layer. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's great to see all of you. Okay, so you can put this anywhere on your paper that you want. And I'm going to start a little bit in the center, and then I'm going to work my way out around the perimeter. Okay. So there's the sweet corn layer. Sweet corn is such a pretty color. I don't know, with the sale coming up, if you guys are looking to expand your ink collection. Sweet corn is a great autumn yellow, where wild dandelion is a great summer yellow. So if you like more of those warm tones for autumn, and you know, we're going to be starting to think about autumn cards soon. I hate to say it, but it's true. And it also, the thing I love about Daisies Forever is daisies are great in the summer, but you can also make this very autumny, because you guys know that lots of daisies, daisy-like flowers are very popular in autumn. And this could also even be kind of a modern looking sunflower. Okay, so we have that first layer. Now for my second layer, I'm going to use a little bit of honey mustard here. Now, you'll see how easy this is. As long as you have the stencil in the same position, like you don't want to have it turned, right? You don't want to have it flipped around. So we have that here, and then we're going to have it in the same position. And I always go by, at the bottom here, there's engraving. It says Gina K Designs Daisy Forever 1, and then it has our website. So as long as that's at the bottom, all you're going to do is line up the circle in the center. If you line up the circle in the center and it's in the same position, in other words, it's straight up and down here, you will be fine. Because that's not easy to line up otherwise. You wouldn't know where to line that up just by looking at it. But just line it up at the circle and make sure it's straight up and down the same way the last one was. So now I'm going to use a little honey mustard with this. So I'm going to hold that stencil down, and I'm going to add a little honey mustard on here. Add a little more. And that's making the center of our flower a little darker. Okay. Now you can see it's starting to become a more fluffy looking daisy. Okay. Now we're going to pick one more color. And I was thinking about doing sweet mango, but I think I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go even darker on this one. I'm going to go with warm cocoa, or maybe prickly pear. Let's try prickly pear and see how that looks. We'll try that first. If we don't like it, we can always go with something else. I'm not sure. Let me just do a little bit of this color here. Yeah, I think that's going to show up okay. Let's try it. So the third daisy is on the second stencil, the third layer. And again, same thing. Make sure your word's down here at the bottom. And then all you have to do is line up the circle. Again, right on top. Just line up that circle. So we'll try prickly pear and see how it looks.
This stencil set is available, right?
It will be available tomorrow. It'll be in the What's New category, I believe. Yeah, nope, it's not available yet. It'll be available tomorrow. It was actually already available through a class that I taught. So I'm reminding everybody to check your stash. If you took the SCT class, you already have this one. Okay, and so there's the last layer. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that. Now, you can go back over that and use this little puffy thing. There's a 3-part puffy thing that goes in the center, and that will definitely make it look more like a sunflower. Here it looks more like a daisy, but this will make it look a little more like a sunflower. It's a little bit bumpy, and it'll kind of make you think of seeds. Okay, so I'm going to do warm cocoa for this center. And let me get a small blending brush for this. Here's a little small blending brush. Okay, so we'll do a little warm cocoa in the center. Okay, we'll start heavy in the center. So you see now it feels more like a sunflower, right? And if you wanted to, you know, dot some little dots on there with a black pen or a real dark brown or even white to make it look more like bumpy, you could do that. Otherwise, you could go through and add some extra layers, darken this up a little bit with the other 2 layers. See how that made that a little darker? And I'm using that same color. I'm going even darker on here. And you could see, let's see if I can get a close up. Maybe
You can see it.
You can see it pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see how that looks. So easy. And I want to show you now how easy it is to cut out. There is 2 little, let's see. Let me get a little poker here. Right down here, you can see these 2 petals right here separate. They kind of go in different directions, and it's right at the bottom. It's real easy to see that on the die right here. So you just line those 2 up, and the rest will fit, and it will cut it out perfectly. So that's how easy it is to do this daisy. But I'm going to use the daisy today without the dies. So I'm going to just kind of create a little bit of background. Are the word strip die not available until tomorrow? Word strips. I'm not sure. Are you talking about the sentiment strips? These here? These sentiment strips should be on our website. They are available and they should be there. So make sure you look under the dies category and check. I think that's what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. A lot of questions that are meant for customer service, I'm not going to be able to answer here, but you can always contact customer service at info@ginakdesigns.com, or you can call them at 1-844-358-1447, and they are standing by for your phone calls, and they can help you locate products and all of that. So I'm not sure if you're asking, will the dies also be available? This is a whole bundle that I'm just showing you right now. So everything comes together. It's all at one price. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do here, the name of the bundle, one more time, is Daisies Forever, I believe is the name of the bundle. It's not available today. It will be available tomorrow at 8 a.m. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that it will be available. No, I will not give the code today. The code will be given tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. all over social media and through our newsletter. So make sure you're signed up for our newsletter as well. Okay, so what I have here is I'll go over it again one more time at the end of the show in case you missed any of the details and you got here late. All right, so what I have here is some masking magic. So for those of you that love our masking magic, make sure you grab some of this tomorrow. I cut this into 1/4 inch strips. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to outline this piece of cardstock. Now, I think I'm going to cut it down a little smaller for this card. So you could use Master Layouts 2 for this, or you could use Master Layouts 1 if you wanted the size that it is now. Or you can just cut it with your paper cutter. So I'm going with the 3.5 inch mark here to the 4 3/4 inch mark here. All right. And then I'm going to go around the entire edge of this with masking magic. Now, I've never done this with these stencils before, so I think it's going to create a really neat look. I love to have the extra white space around the outside without having to add a whole other layer. Oh yeah, I just saw your comment and I probably should show that. So thank you for reminding me about that. I will show that when you have a stencil that has these open parts like this. I'm going to show you a little like these open parts where it's not all connected. See how on this one, they're all connected by this center. So there's nothing flapping. Here, there's lots of parts that are flapping. So when you clean this stencil, I'm going to show you right now while it's in my head. When you clean this stencil, I like to use my tidy towel to clean my stencils, but you can also use a paper towel with some water. What I do is I work my way toward the center and clean it toward the center. If you start scrubbing it like this, these are all going to get caught up and they're going to bend. They can be bent back. So if you have stencils that are bent, just bend it back. But that is a great way to clean your stencil and not damage it. Okay. So now I'm going to continue to add these Masking Magic strips that I cut on my paper cutter at on a 1/4 inch. Oh, welcome everyone. I'm sorry you guys have storms. I know that's hard on the internet and also scary. So I hope you guys are all okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard there's like storms all around. And sometimes even when you don't have storms right in your area, if they're close by, they may be ruining a tower or something. Okay. So Denver needs rain, Allison. Tracy, I know. How did we ever craft without Masking Magic? It really is fun, isn't it? And it's so easy. Okay, so I'm just going around the outside. Can't seem to get a hold of it here. And I'm using the Masking Magic also to tack down my stencil or my cardstock so it's not going to move around. Oh, hot and sunny in Texas. It is hot here today, too. I think it's in the 90s here today. We've had wacky weather, haven't we? One day it's 56. The next day it's 97. It's hard to figure out what's going on. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I have my cardstock all taped off, and I'm going to do some kind of little random flowers, but I want to go off the stencil, off my Masking Magic. You know what I mean? So it's coming in from an angle. So I'm going to use some turquoise colors. Surprise, surprise. I was looking at my Instagram feed today trying to figure out what colors to use. And my Instagram feed is full of oranges and pinks. And I thought, you know, for somebody whose favorite color in the world is sea glass, I don't have enough sea glass on there. So I'm going to use some sea glass. I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to take my time with this. I'm going to do one flower at a time, and then I'm going to add some leaves. So you know what I think I'll do? I think I'm going to start in this direction, and I'm going to do one daisy right in the center to start. I think that'll be a good way to do it. So I'm starting with the sea glass. And I'm just going to do a light layer there of sea glass. Okay. And then I'm going to put my stencil right on top, same position. And I'm going to use some Turquoise Sea. Now, when you're doing this and you're kind of doing one flower at a time, you do risk some cross-contamination with your blending brush, unless you have a piece of paper towel close by where you can rub off the color in between layers. So we'll do a little bit of Turquoise Sea here. So this is a little darker. I think my Turquoise Sea is getting a little dry. Perfect time to get some re-inkers. We are still dealing with supply chain shortages, so it's not easy for us to get our full sets in stock. So you will have to pick and choose the colors you want, but we have most colors in stock. So there's my second one. I did get a little over here, but I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to do my third color with some Tranquil Teal. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go clean my brush so I can start over. And I want to turn my cardstock now so that all my daisies aren't in the exact same position. Okay. So I'm going to start straight up and down here with a little bit of sea glass. Now you can also do this more loosely if you want. You don't have to be I actually did the wrong one with the sea glass, but that's okay. I'm going to go back and do this one with Turquoise Sea this time. It's kind of the beauty of this layering stencil is the way it's designed, it doesn't really matter which layer you do what on. But I like to go in order most of the time because it just kind of keeps me thinking like linearly, if that makes sense. All right. Here we go. There's layer 3. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay. So I'm going to do this one down here. I'm turning the stencil again. I'll start with this one this time. Straight up and down. Clean my brush. Daisies are happy flowers. They seem to smile at you. So do sunflowers. Okay. So there's my first layer. Now I'm going to move to my second layer here. And even if you want, because you're not cutting any of these out, you can turn the stencils any direction you want. You don't have to have them as consistent as I do. You could flip it this way, you could flip it that way, because you're not cutting them out. But I'm just doing this kind of, it's the first time that you're seeing this one unless you took the class. And I want to get you into the habit of lining them up a certain way so that you remember to do that when you're wanting to cut them out. All right. So we're going to put 4 in here. And we're going to do a little green stenciling around it. What's that? Lots were asking, I guess 8 Central because she is in this. Yes, the sale will go up at 8 o'clock Central time. So, you know, you'll see the sale go up in the Facebook group 8 o'clock Central time. If you're Eastern time, it will be 9 Eastern. If you're on the West Coast, it's going to be a lot earlier. But we're going with that 8 a.m. Central time. And our newsletter will go out then too, but don't count on the newsletter. Just know what time, because the newsletter, you know, I mean, we've got hundreds of thousands of people on our newsletter, and it can only deliver so many per minute. So it could take up to an hour for everybody to get their newsletter. So don't count on that. Just know the time. Also have to call our website company and make sure all of our nodes are in place. All right, so this is my final one over here. I might add a little bit more, we'll see. Tom, we missed your guitar playing on Tuesday night. I know you were busy making sure Jennifer and I were in the right spots, but it's always nice to have your music.
Yeah, there wasn't too much dead space.
There really wasn't. Okay, so now I've got those. Yes, and you can Google the time zone. I mean, just Google 8 a.m. Central Time to Pacific Time or to Eastern Time or whatever time. Because, I mean, I can't really tell you all the time zones all over the country, all over the world, because I don't know them. All right. So now I'm just going to clean these stencils so that they're not a problem. This one I can just go ahead and rub in any direction because there's nothing loose on there. But these I definitely want to clean in the direction that from the outside of the petal toward the inside. This way I'm not damaging the stencil. And this technique works for any of your stencils that you have. I know other companies do stencils that have the same issue where there's parts of it that are just kind of loose and flapping. So you want to make sure that you protect all of that by just cleaning in the direction toward the loose, not away from it, because it'll just flip it right up and it'll bend it. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm going to add some leaves, but here's something that I want to do. I don't want this whole piece right here. I mean, I guess I could have it and I could strategically place it, but I think it would be easier to get rid of it completely. So what I'm going to do is take a little piece of Masking Magic. Let me find one off to the side here. I was playing with Masking Magic yesterday, so I have a lot of it laying around here. Let me just find a scrap. Give me 1 second. Here's a little scrap of Masking Magic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of Masking Magic and I'm just going to block that off right there. Okay, I'm trying to read your comments at the same time. Alrighty. So then we're going to just block that off right there. Okay. And now I want to add my leaves like right up against different parts of the daisies. So I'm going to do some jelly bean. My cleaning cloth is the Gina K Designs Tidy Towel. It's not microfiber. It is lint-free, but it's not microfiber. It's more like a PVA something or other. Okay, so I'm going to add a little green right here. So you can see how that looks. It's okay if some of these leaves overlap some of the blue. You can make it a little heavier at the bottom if you want. You can see I'm just randomly finding spots to put those leaves in that white space. I'm trying not to put them completely around that design. I want to make it look a little more random. Let's see. Put one up here. And again, it's totally okay if it overlaps the blue a little bit. It's kind of hard to make an ugly card with layering stencils. You know what I mean? So it's not freezing on your TV, but it's freezing on your phone. Yeah, that's why I say it's probably not on our end, because if we were freezing, we'd be freezing everywhere. Probably has something to do with cellular or something else. I'm going to just put a little right here, like that. Now, I'm going to fill in some of these areas like this. Love the jelly bean. One of my favorite colors. I used to use it all the time until people at work started making fun of me that, oh, you're using jelly bean for a change? And then I realized that I needed to give love to the other greens. All right. Oops. Just tried to ink up from my lid. Okay. So now that's the first layer. Now I'm going to add this second layer. And this, I'm going to use a little bit of fresh asparagus. Now, first I want to show you what it would look like if you use jelly bean green, because you can use the same color if you don't have a different color. You can use the same color, just go a little light-handed with the first layer and go really heavy on the next layer. Okay. So I'll use the same color. I was going to use fresh asparagus, but I think this will be kind of fun to use this as a second layer, nice and dark. So you see how that works? Same color, just a heavier hand. There are those weird colors that we all have in our collection that just don't have a mate, if you know what I mean. There's just not another color in the collection that really works well with that particular color. So you can do the light hand versus heavy hand to create your own second layer color. And for those of you that have our layered carnation and our layered spruce colors, these are beautiful for the layered stamps. They work great. See all that depth you get? Oh, good. I'm glad the video is working good for you now. Yeah, it's going to be different all over the place. I mean, I hate to keep talking about it because I know it's different for everybody, but unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do on our end if it's working here. We can't even replicate it. Okay, so now I'm going to do these tiny little areas. What did I do? Here's what I did. Right here. A little heavy there. And then tiny little bits in here for these tiny areas. This is as therapeutic as anything to me, is just taking my time and working with these layering stencils. Now, this same exact technique can be used with any of our layering stencils. So if you're thinking, oh, I really wanted other things and I don't want this particular one, that's totally fine. You can do it with the A Little Hello set. You can do it with A Little Love. Any of those that you might already have will work beautifully. Okay. So now that I've got all of the little greenery in there filled in, there's a lot of little things that we can do to kind of jazz this up. For example, we have this tiny little stamp that we could stamp in there if we wanted to, just to give some little, pops of color. We could also use this one. These are just fun little doodad stamps to add in. What I'd like to do is add a center to each of these flowers. But I don't want to do it in black. I think I'm going to do it in Tranquil Teal. I just want to give a little pop of color in there, and I love this center flower, and I think it looks beautiful when it's stamped on top. So this would also be a great stamp to use if you were trying to make yours sunflowers, because you can see, let me pull this off, you can see how pretty that would be, like if these were all yellow and you did that in brown. It's a really, really pretty one. Okay. Yes, I'm glad you agree. All right, so we're going to do this with Tranquil Teal since that's our darkest color. I do want to check this color before I commit to it, or check the stamp before I commit to it. Oh, Lisa, right. Any of the Wreath Builder stamps would be perfect to add in. And if you don't have a tiny stamp, you can even be really creative by using the tip of a pencil and inking that up and just adding some random little dots in there with the tip of a pencil. So lots of ways to add extras. All right, so let's check this stamp and make sure we get a good impression with it before we commit. Oh yes, that looks really good. Okay. The bundle does not give instructions for the progression of layers. You just have to watch one of the videos. None of our bundles have instructions. It's just because I do so many videos. Ooh, I love that. I do so many videos with these. I've got tons of videos on the A Little Hello and the A Little Love, showing you exactly how to line everything up. And then you can stop and start and work along with it. Okay, now when I go to these end ones that are off, I want to put a little extra pressure because I want it to go past that line. Not past the line, but I want it to sink down into that line. So I'm going to give it a second to transfer. There we go. That's a good impression on that line. Okay, here too. The stencils are layered. They are numbered. So on the 3-step parts, like the A Little Hello and A Little Love have 3 stencils. It does say stencil 1, stencil 2, stencil 3. But because these are such simple flowers, big, bold, simple flowers, it's so easy to see which ones, that you don't really need to have them actually numbered. It's so easy to see. All right. But the stencils themselves, yes, definitely. They are numbered. Okay. But if they're really self-explanatory, like some of our stencils, like the layered hearts and all, you don't even need the numbers. But on some of there's a couple that aren't numbered because they're so easy to see. But the ones that might be difficult, like if you wanted to know which stencil to use first for your light color, dark color, medium color, all of that, just go by the numbers. So here on this one, for example, this says number 1, and you just start at the top. So that's 1, 2, and then this is stencil 2, and this is 3. Okay, so now we are ready to not reveal yet. Now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit more color to this before I take this off. And here's why. If I peel this off right now, it's not going to feel as much of a wow because of the white spaces that are left behind. So I'm going to bring in a totally different color here. I'm going to add some apple mint to this whole mess. Okay. So, do a quick blood sugar check. Looking good. Okay. Those of you that know, I'm a diabetic, so I'm constantly checking my blood sugar, and I always have some cranberry juice close by. Okay, so I'm just getting rid of all this excess color. Okay. And now I'm going to use some apple mint. Yes, this is the same daisy set that you got at the SCT event. So I see some of you going, okay, do I need this or do I not need this? You don't need it if you went to the 2020 craft weekend by SCT back in March. This is the one that you got, so you don't need it. You have it already. You can make this card tonight. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around the perimeter here with apple mint. Because I really want that line. I want you to see that line. And apple mint, blues and greens are great because if you get green on the blue, it just gets a little green. It doesn't like turn to brown like if you were doing purple and yellow. So you want to stick with colors that are going to work when you go around the perimeter. I'm still going to leave it whiter in the center so it kind of glows a little bit more. Yes, the stamp set, the stencils, and the dies all come in the bundle. So you have everything that you need to cut them all out, to do the extra stamping, and the words too that we're going to do next. They all come in there. The Little Hello bundle will be back in stock tomorrow. So will A Little Love. We have lots of stuff coming back in for tomorrow's sale. Okay, here we go. So I am going to peel and reveal. I love it. Looks so clean when you peel all of this. This just feels like such a pretty garden. And can you see how now that we added that little bit of apple mint on the side there, how it just makes that white pop that much more. There we go. Okay, that's such a pretty little postcard, isn't it? If you want to use real heavy cardstock, you could make postcards like this and then write your message and use a postcard stamp. You just have to get the right size from the post office website. I don't know what the right size of a postcard is, but that's so pretty. Okay, so now we're going to add, guess what color we're going to add to as a layer? Anybody know? Black. That's too big. All right, let's cut a black layer using the paper cutter. Yeah, some of this is just like little art panels too. They'd be really pretty in scrapbook pages or just as a little art piece. So this I'm cutting to 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. You could use Master Layouts 2 for this size. that is going to go right on there, like that. All right, let's tape that down. Where'd my tape go? Here it is. I do have a little bit of ink that seeped through, so I'm going to take my mono sand eraser and just erase that off. And that should take care of it. It's not as bad. And we'll put that on there. See, you can barely even notice where I got that blue line. It is right here. I know where it is, but it's harder to see now that it's so busy. So if you have any little happy accidents or unhappy accidents, it's okay. And then this whole thing, I know you guys are laughing at my decision to go with black. And then I have to do a white card base because there's so much beautiful color on here that I really don't want to, you know, distract your eye away from what's going on in the center. Yeah, it could be these could be cone flowers too. You're exactly right. So you can pick whatever colors you want. These can be spring and summer cards. These can be gorgeous autumn cards for Thanksgiving, or, you know, just autumn cards in general. Okay, so now we're going to get our greeting ready. We're going to use the Forever and Shadow die that comes in this set, and I might just use Forever. And then I think I'm going to stamp the word right onto the card itself. You could do a little black strip sentiment and emboss it in white. That would look good too. I might have to try both here because we've got a little bit of time. I'm a little ahead here. Yes, go back and watch some of my other layering stencil videos using a little love and a little hello, because there's techniques that can be used across all of these layering stencils. So let's cut this Forever out using some black cardstock. What I did was I put my Forever on here off to the side, blade side up, and I'm going to lay my cardstock on top and cut that out. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are all so sweet. I really appreciate your really kind comments. Okay. And then I'm going to poke this out. This is poking out all of the insides, but I need something to poke out the actual. There we go. This one. That'll do it. Okay. I love this Forever die. We have another Forever die in our collection because we've got so many strip sentiments that go with the word Forever. But the other one's really big and it's beautiful. I've done some cards with it. It's beautiful. I'll show you a card I did with it if I can find it over there when I'm done. But this, and you'll see the difference. So this one is more delicate. So let me just put that there for a second. Let me come over here and try to find my Forever. I wonder if I sent it away to somebody. Sorry, guys. I'm going to show them these cards too. Oh, I must have given it away. Oh, darn it. Well, I will show you these other cards that I made with this in a minute, just in case you weren't in the class and you didn't see them. Okay. So the other Forever die is bigger and it takes up the whole card. Alrighty. But I love all the little sentiments that go with it, because you can say best friends forever, together forever, in my heart forever, you're my forever friend, forever grateful, love you forever. And then there's also the strip word for forever. So if you just wanted to say love you forever and you didn't want the big scripty word, you could do it that way. I also did the stamp. It's smaller. So if you want a smaller forever, that's in there too. So there's lots of ways to use that. So let's see how this looks. I feel like we could stamp the word right on. Let's see how it looks. like, do you think we'd see it, or should I do the strip? I think I'm gonna do the strip. I feel like the black would look better. I just feel like it would. The little strip sentiment would look better. So I'll just use this. Okay, the other thing, don't forget that you can use the cutout word as a stencil. So you can take the cutout word, or from the shadow die, you could cut that out and make it into a stencil. And you can stencil color down and then pop your strip, your word right on top of it, just to make it stand out a little bit more if you don't want the extra layer. So I love being able to use my my dies to create my own stencils. All right, so let's just get a little embossing magic on here. And then I like to use white ink when I use white embossing powder. So let me find my ink cube. Here it is. Another great thing to add if you're interested. So should we say best friends forever? Forever in my heart. That's kind of a nice sympathy one. Love you forever. I'm going to do best friends, just because I want this to be a happy card, because we're going to give it away. I always feel weird giving away sympathy cards when I make them. It's just a weird thing to send to somebody who is not needing a sympathy card. So, okay, so I have that on there. And if you're new, if you're a newer stamper, and I know I get a lot of newer stampers, this little tip for putting sentiment strips onto your block, just let it lay in its natural position and pick it up with the block that way. This way you won't inadvertently curve it or stretch it in a weird way. All right, I need my tool here. This is my heat tool. Let me plug it in. I wasn't going to do this, but I feel like I need to, so I got to get all the things. And then I'm going to need some white embossing powder. So I've got my big tub here. We'll get that ready to go. Okay. So now I'm going to use white ink. And the reason why I've been liking using white ink is because if you use Versamark or an embossing and watermark ink, sometimes if it misses a little spot, it's not going to be white. But if you use white ink, the ink kind of fills in where you might miss with the embossing powder or with the regular ink. It just kind of fills in things. So we'll just put this here. I'm giving it a second to transfer. And then I'm going to add my embossing powder. Pigment ink is a wet ink. It's kind of like embossing ink. It takes a while to dry, but that's good because it gives you an opportunity to get some embossing powder on there. Okay, so you can see how nice and bright that is. It'll look brighter when I heat it. And then I take a paintbrush and get rid of any little flecks. Is that a word, Tom?
It is.
Okay. You don't have a word of the day, do you? Are we still riding on hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay. Hallelujah. Okay, here we go. I'm going to heat this a little bit first. And we are going to be getting more of this Daisies Forever set in. So if you do miss out on it, don't fret. This one is going to be reordered. We just had some left over from the class, and I thought it would be a good time to put it in just because we're having a sale. But there are other layering stencil sets that are beautiful if you want to try one. Here we go. Nice and crisp, isn't it? Nice and bright. That's the white. That's using that white embossing powder. I mean, the white ink under there first. I really love doing that. Okay. Yes, our pigment ink comes in ink cubes, ink pads, and re-inkers. We have ink cubes for everything. Even our embossing ink, which is nice if you travel and craft with friends, you go on stamping retreats or whatever. It's kind of nice to have cubes. You can take your whole collection in a tiny little container. If you're like me and you never know what you're going to make, All right, so we're going to find the right sentiment strip die for this one, and I believe it will be this. That one. Now, if you like a bigger strip, like you like it to hang over the edge more, our sentiment strip dies will work as well for these. Like if you like more black space on the sides. But I'm going to use the one because I'm using everything from this bundle today. All right, wish me luck getting this cut straight. I really want to cut it straight. Yes, lots of you have this bundle already from taking the class. That's why I say, you know, sometimes we even forget what we have in our collection. So if you took that class, maybe you didn't even do the classes themselves yet, but where did my washi tape go? Here it is. Maybe you didn't even complete all the classes yet. Make sure you just check because you don't want to buy something you already have. All right, so. There we go. That looks pretty straight. I'm going to cut that out. Okay. There we go. Pretty close. Yeah, thank you, Kay. It's very hard for me to see all the questions because I actually have to look at what I'm doing. Now, see, I think that looks better because you can really read the words than if I stamped it right on there. Okay. All right, so let's glue that together. And then we've got a really pretty little fun card. We're going to give it away to somebody. And if you're new and you want to know how to get into the drawing, all you have to do is make a comment somewhere along the line during the live. And Tom randomly chooses somebody. I got a little spot of embossing powder where I don't want it, so I'm just trying to scrape it off there. Okay, I'm going to use some Connect glue, which I forgot to put my lid on. Let's see, I've got a little dried glue there in the front. Let's see if I can... Don't forget to put your lid back on your glue because it will definitely create a problem for you. Let me see, where's my other Connect glue? Let's see if I can find it. Okay, there it is. These little lids, I take this string off when I use it, which is a bad thing to do. Because the string hanging there reminds you to recap your glue with the little cap, and that keeps it from clogging. I left mine out since Thursday night, so I will have to just soak it in hot water to soften that glue up. It is a water-soluble glue, so that should help. It should take care of it. But I love these fine tip bottles. Another thing we've got lots of inventory on. We just got a big shipment of those in. And these are great for when you want to glue your very delicate die cuts, or anytime you want to just use a tiny bit of glue, because you don't need to use a lot of glue. And if you are using glue instead of tape and your paper is warping, it's not because glue doesn't work. It's just because you're probably using a little bit too much. So maybe cut back a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put this right down here toward the bottom. Like that. Best friends forever. And you could either tape that right onto your card, or you could pop it up with a little bit of like a foam square. I think I'll just glue mine right onto the card. Okay. The glue is forgiving too, so if you have to shift it a little bit, unlike a real sticky tape, it's hard to do. So there we go. So there is my finished card.
That's in keeping with a spiritual glue.
Keeping what?
That the glue is forgiving.
Yes, it's a spiritual glue. It's forgiving. Now, it would be pretty to add some sequins. I'm not going to add these sequins, but I want to show you what they look like. I'm just going to lay a few on there. And you could tell me if you think I should add them. But, you know, we could just put a few little mermaid tail sequins in here. I like the tiny ones. I like to mix the tiny ones in. That is really pretty. I didn't expect to like that so much. And I really do. Do you like the mermaid's tail in there? The little sequins, a little bit of shine and sparkle. We'll see what they say. But anyway, I want to show you just a couple other cards. These are the cards that I taught in that SCT class. I showed how to make this one. I showed how to make this one. And I showed how to make this one. So lots of fun cards. I'm sure you guys must have seen these cards all over Instagram because everybody who made them in the class, like 3,000 people, were posting these same exact cards all over. Oh, yes, they would be beautiful in the centers of the flowers. Good idea. That would be a great place to put them, just to have that little extra sparkle. Yes, on the sequins. Oh, yeah, that's pretty. And what's nice is, you know, there's lots of centers there. So I'll do that. Good idea. Thank you. So, Tom, while I'm putting these sequins on here, we are going to pick a winner.
All right. A winner.
The winner.
All right. Drum roll, please. Here it comes. The winner is Janelle Nedderson Hibbard. Janelle.
Janelle.
Yay.
Congratulations, Janelle. Woohoo! All right. Well, Janelle, all you have to do is send your name and your address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and this card will be coming your way. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you will pull out some of your layering stencils and try that little white border using some masking magic. And remember to ink around the outside to really get it to pop in the center. And I will be back tomorrow with... Not tomorrow, but I'll be back either tomorrow or later this weekend with another 5-minute card video. And 8 o'clock Central Time, our sale will go up. It is our biggest sale of the year next to Black Friday. Black Friday is always bigger, but this is our biggest sale of the year other than that. And everything will be on sale except what's in the deal of the day. We've got a lot of good things going in the deal of the day too, like bundles that are stupid priced, ridiculously low. And gift certificates are not available, and anything on clearance because those prices are already ridiculous. Way better than any sale. All right, everybody. So stay tuned tomorrow for our coupon code. It'll go on Facebook, in our group, on our page, on Instagram. I'll throw it here on YouTube on my community tab, and also you'll get an email, but the email may come a little later, so make sure you check social media. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We love you all so very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.